and opinions and assessments of last night's fights.
Getting this in here, Bell, with the performance on 10 days. What a performance there from Abdullah at the end, and then the stoppage. Let's go to the champ first. What did you see from Abdullah Mason there, that 12th round, but the entire fight?
Well, listen, he showed us something that we was looking for in Shushu Carrington.
Yes.
Facts.
He took the next gear.
Yeah.
We was looking for Shushu to, go into that next gear, but he never did.
That's
Abdullah
right.
showed us what it is, how to turn it up.
There's levels.
He turned the fight up. He started going to the body. He did something different. One thing wasn't working, so he went to the next thing. And that's how he got the victory tonight.
It's weird sitting between you two because it took me back to the I'm down.
Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Click the like button. Do not be afraid to give me your assessments and your opinions of last night's events. It was a great night of boxing, let me tell you. Oh my gosh, I was on my feet. It was a little late towards the end, and I got tired, but I made sure that I stayed up to watch Abdullah Mason versus Albert Bell, which I didn't expect for Albert Bell to give a great performance like that. He was winning the fight for the majority of the fight, and I had him winning first round all the way to the sixth. I mean, he was giving Abdullah Mason trouble every time that Abdullah Mason tried to go inside. He didn't let him go inside without countering, and it was like he was timing him real good, and Abdullah Mason couldn't go inside in the very beginning of the fight. Like, he was having trouble. He wasn't going to the body, and as soon as he started figuring out that he can't go to, like, what he was trying to do exactly based on what he said after the fight when they questioned him in the panel with Terrence Crawford and everybody else, he was basically saying that he didn't want to go and fight him the way he was trying to fight him going inside in the very beginning of the fight because he was still fresh. So what he did, he was basically, I think he had trouble with the fact that Albert Bell actually knew a lot about the way he fights because they actually were sparring partners and they know each other quite well in the gym. So I believe that Albert Bell was keeping him at bay. Every time he tried to go inside, he would actually counter and set him up and didn't allow Abdullah Mason to go inside. And I think the issue was that he struggled in the beginning. So what I felt was the better way for Abdullah Mason to have the upper hand in this fight was to fight inside. And eventually, the only way that he was going to go inside is by being quick, slick, hitting him in the body, and putting a lot of pressure and throwing a lot of combinations. And that's what he started doing towards I'd say after the sixth round. He started hitting him in the body and throwing more combinations and actually was able to be effective fighting him in the inside. That was the whole game plan for him. Was the best game plan for Abdullah Mason was fighting Albert Bell in the inside. But in the beginning, he was unable to go on the inside. It's like he was still like fresh in the fight, Albert Bell, and he refused to let Albert Bell, Abdullah Mason go inside. He was struggling to go inside. So the best way for Abdullah Mason to actually do some damage and be effective is to go inside but throw a lot of combinations, body shots, and that was the key. And the body shots and throwing many combinations inside was the best way for Abdullah Mason to exploit his advantages over, Albert Bell. And I feel like that fight was before the knockout, because they were having open scoring. They had Albert Bell winning by 1 point, and the 12th round was the defining round to break the tie. And at that end of the round, in the 12th round, I already believe after the 6th, the 7th round, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's where Abdullah Mason came on strong and started like really pressuring him inside and hitting him, throwing a lot of combinations. And I felt with that knockdown in the 12th round, that was the beginning of the end. And I believe the referee stopped the fight at the right time, because if he would have let it continue, I think Abdullah Mason would have finished him regardless. but he knocked him down really good in the first round, in the 12th round, and then when he knocked him down again, the ref didn't even count. He just stopped the fight, and I believe that okay, he was winning the fight. It was competitive, but I believe that regardless of how competitive it was, he was already gonna get knocked out, and he already broke the tie with the first knockdown. So the second knockdown, he broke the tie even more. Not the tie, but he broke the lead that Albert Bell had, because he was winning by 1 point. They were having like open scoring in the fight, and I think once they let Abdullah Mason know that he was behind, and I think in the 6th round or 7th round, they let him know, and that's when he increased his count out, his combination output, and he started hitting him to the body, and that's when it made a difference. So a lot of people were talking about the open scoring. A lot of people were in disagreement. Sergio Mora, Timothy Bradley, they went back and forth about that. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel, but I believe that Abdullah Mason switched gears. He showed what he was made of. He adapted. He rose to the occasion, and he switched to a high gear, showed his level. He didn't do what Bruce Shushu Carrington did, which I think Bruce Shushu Carrington was a disappointment. He won the fight. He did get hurt late in the 10th round. He had trouble with Rene Palacio from Mexico. He won the fight, clearly. He was winning most of the fight, but I believe that he got hurt towards the end. I think the body shots really hurt him, and you could tell he was wilting. His face was showing the expression that he was hurt by Rene Palacio, which Rene Palacio was hitting him to the body, and he didn't like that. So he didn't close the show. I think Bruce Shushu Carrington from Brownsville, Brooklyn, which he's from Brooklyn, where I'm from, didn't close the show and didn't switch gears. He didn't raise his game, and he didn't show the level that people want to see from elite fighters. And I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm just saying that he's not exciting. I feel like he needs to be more exciting. Okay, it's great that he's a great boxer, but he showed vulnerability, which he overcame it. He surpassed that test, and we'll see what happens. But I just believe that a fighter should switch gears and show the level that he's on, like the way Abdullah Mason did. He was behind on the scorecard, and he came on really strong in the last 6 rounds and closed the show and raised his gear up. That's what Terence Crawford alluded to. He basically said what people were looking for Bruce Shushu Carrington to do, to raise his gear, show his level, he didn't do, but Abdullah Mason did it for him. And Abdullah Mason, he showed the levels of boxing, the elite level, the excitement, that if you're falling behind in a fight, go to another gear and show people just what you're made of. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. I believe that Timothy Bradley and Sean Porter, they're completely blind and biased. What the hell fight were they watching when they know clearly that Peric Scooter Davis, who fought Carlos Ramos out of Spain via Ecuador, lost that fight. He got outboxed, man. Perry Scooter Davis got outboxed. He came in with an 11-0, 10 KO record, fighting 18-4 and 1 draw, 10 KOs. Carlos Ramos. I think that was a robbery. I think the fight, Carlos Ramos won that fight so clearly. A blind person could see that Carlos Ramos won that fight. How the hell are they going to give the fight to Derek Scooter Davis, who lost? I think it was the other way around. They gave a unanimous decision to Derek Scooter Davis when they should have gave a unanimous decision to Carlos Ramos. The other way around, because Carlos Ramos outboxed Derek Scooter Davis, made him look foolish, and made him look very amateurish. Like he was getting hit with a lot of shots, and a lot of the shots that Derek Scooter Davis was landing, he was missing a lot, and he wasn't really landing a lot of effective shots. He was just going forward, but I don't think he was effective. I think that Derek Scooter Davis ran away with a gift decision that he didn't deserve. And I don't know why Timothy Bradley was saying that, oh, that it was a close fight, you know, he made Derek Scooter Davis miss a couple of times, but he was the effective aggressor. That's what he said, something to that effect. Timothy Bradley said that Derek Scooter Davis was an effective aggressor. How? How was he the effective aggressor? He was getting outlanded, getting schooled, outboxed. But if it was the other way around, if Carlos Ramos was, if Derek Scooter Davis was doing the boxing that Carlos Ramos was doing, I bet you that they would have gave him credit for it. They would have Sean Porter and Timothy Bradley would have gave him credit for it. But since it was the other way around, the African American boxer was the one getting outboxed. They gave him the credit for the effective aggressiveness when he got outboxed. I think it was biased on Timothy Bradley and Sean Porter's part. Very biased. And I just think that fight right there, he ran away with a gift decision. Derek Scooter Davis. He is overrated, and I'm not impressed with that victory because it was a gift decision. He's lucky that he was given that decision, because you could tell at the end of the fight that he knows he lost the fight. He was just happy they gave him the decision. In the post-fight interview, you could tell that Derek Scooter Davis knew he lost that fight and was just happy that they gave him the fight. Oh, we're going to learn from this fight. Oh, there's a couple of things that he was slick, but I was able to beat him. And there's a couple of things that I learned from this fight, so I'm going to be better and I'm going to train harder and whatever he said. I just feel like he knew deep down inside he lost that fight. So Derek Scooter Davis looked terrible, and he got beat, and he's lucky he ran away with a gift decision like that. I just think that Timothy Bradley and Sean Porter are completely biased and blind for them to actually say that he won that fight. They're completely blind and biased. Nobody wants to tell the truth anymore. They want to act like they tell the truth. That's the difference. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Click the like button. Oh, I'm so upset with the way these people, these commentators, give their assessment, but they're biased and they're not being totally fair, and they're not being subjective. They're being very biased and very selective and going for the fighter that a lot of people were clamoring, because in the beginning when he walked in the ring, Derek Scooter Davis, they were high praise on him. They were speaking highly of him. So he was definitely the boxer that everybody was clamoring to win. So he had some kind of connections, and everybody was speaking highly of him. So that's the reason why Timothy Bradley and Sean Porter didn't want to say the truth that he lost, because he was the company fighter. He was the DAZN fighter, or TNT fighter, that everybody was hoping that he won, and they were speaking highly of him, but he looked terrible in this fight. Derek Scooter Davis looked horrible in this fight. And Timothy Bradley and Sean Porter, they need to either go to a different network where it's not so big, because right now all they're doing is just agitating the real fans that actually know that the boxer lost, when they're actually saying the contrary of what really happened. They're actually not speaking the truth. They're not speaking the facts. So I feel like there's not people like that anymore, like Howie Cosell, who told the truth, like Freddie Pacheco. They always told the truth. They always kept the boxing people on their toes. They spoke their mind, and they spoke the truth, and they even called out the boxers in the ring. And Larry Merchant did it too, and I respect that when they challenge Floyd Mayweather and they don't give him the questions that he wants. I feel like a lot of these Timothy Bradleys and Sean Porter, they go where the famous fighter is the popular one. That's the one they're going to support, and they're not going to ask him any controversial question. I think it's wrong. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. What about Delante Tiger Johnson versus Christopher Guerrero? Unanimous decision. I'm not really sold on him, on Delante Tiger Johnson. I'm not really. I like him. I think he's good, but he didn't show gears. He didn't switch gears. He didn't show the level. Like, okay, he won the fight, but he didn't try to go further than what he was showing. He just was happy to win the fight. But I think that he won a unanimous decision, but I think that he should have switched gears. We want to see excitement. Fighters want to see excitement. We want to see a fighter actually switch gears when one thing is working, but if you feel like there's nothing else you can do, try to find another ways to win the fight and switch gears. Take it to another intensity. And that's what Abdullah Mason did. Abdullah Mason did what a boxer of an elite status is supposed to do. He was losing the fight for, even in the 12th round, he was losing by 1 round, by 1 point. And he switched gears and raised the level and won and proved that there's levels. And he showed that he is a force to be reckoned with in the 130 lightweight division. He is the WBO champion, and there's other champions in this division. Gervonta Tank Davis, who's the WBA champion, and IBF Raymond Muratalla, who is one of my favorites. And there's a lot of competition in that weight class. And I think that Abdullah Mason is a serious problem and a serious champion in that weight division. There's a lot of great fights to be made. Tank Davis, I think that he's been inactive, and I'm not really impressed with with the way he's been fighting and his antics outside of the ring. I think he lost to Lamont Roach, not Peterson. To Lamont Roach. Remember Lamont Peterson? Hit the like button, says JJ Sendejas. Hit the like button, everyone, and subscribe as you enter. Thank you, my brother JJ Sendejas. He's one of my regulars right here. Salute to JJ Sendejas. Respect to you. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Subscribe to Tony Also Knows Boxing, where you get the truth, the unadulterated truth, and the facts. And real, unholds barred facts, truth, and honesty. No holding back from the truth. And I call it for how it is, and I keep it real. All right, so right now, we have the division is a pretty stacked division. Gervonta Davis is the WBA champion, WBA lightweight champion, and the IBF lightweight champion is Raymond Muratalla, one of my favorite fighters. And we got Abdullah Mason, who is the WBO, and he looked very impressive. He showed that he has gears, and he showed that he could go to another level and take the fight to a higher intensity. And I'm very impressed with Abdullah Mason, what he's shown. And I love what he displayed last night. Very exciting fight, and he proved a lot. And they say that Albert Bell, a lot of fighters didn't want to fight him, but he was 33 years old. So I don't know if that was the only opportunity he was going to get through his friend, because Abdullah Mason is his friend, and they sparred together. So I think maybe he did him a favor. I don't know. But a lot of people didn't want to fight him. And I see why. He has a lot of skills. Albert Bell. And I think that he did a great job, Abdullah Mason, in showing the levels, how to switch gears and make the fight more intense and win in a more impressive fashion than the way he was falling behind in the fight. He was basically showing that he was able to adapt and change his strategy and go to the body and throw more combinations. And he actually showed that he can switch gears. And that's what an elite champion, exciting champion does. And Shakur Stevenson is not in that weight class no more, so the WBC belt is vacant because Shakur Stevenson is no longer in that weight division. But it would be so nice to have Shakur Stevenson in that division, because now the competition is even more stacked, and it's very exciting for boxing. But I don't know, everybody's fighting for a big check. Anyway, it's boxing. No, I don't think Shushu really lost. I think the last rounds, a couple of rounds, yeah, the body shots that he took showed that he was hurt, but I think he won most of those rounds, clearly. SPXWN says Shushu really lost. I don't care. Well, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it, but I don't think that Shushu Carrington lost, but he doesn't show the excitement that and the gears that you have to switch as a elite champion like the way Abdullah Mason did. He did the opposite of what Abdullah Mason did. A lot of people were expecting a Shushu show from the Brownsville, Brooklyn native, and he did win the fight most of the rounds. He did really good boxing, but he showed vulnerability, and he got hurt somewhere in the 10th, 11th, 12th round, in the last rounds. But it was the body shots. But then he avoided getting hit in the body, but those body shots really hurt him, and he showed it. But that doesn't mean that he lost the fight, because he won most of the rounds. So I disagree with you respectfully. SPXWN7028. Ooh, what a name. Anyway, so I appreciate your assessment, and thanks for tuning into the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. Appreciate everybody over here. JJ Zendejas, facts with no bull. I appreciate you, my brother. I love your energy. I love your interaction on the channel. Everybody in here is family. Subscribe to the channel. I got newcomers like SPXWN7028. I appreciate you, and subscribe to the channel. Click the like button and give me your assessments when the video is over. Tell me why you think Shushu lost, and give me your assessment on the other fights as well. I appreciate your opinion and your observation. It doesn't matter if I agree with you or not. I just like the honesty to come from everybody. That's how you feel. If that's your best version of what happened, then respect to you. But I disagree respectfully. All right. JJ Zendeja says, plus Mason looks fresh in the 12th round. Yeah, he was solid, man. He was losing that fight, and he found a way to change the strategy and started dominating from the 7th round and on, and he knocked him out in impressive fashion. He showed that there's levels. You have to switch gears, and Bruce Shushu Carrington failed to do that. I'm not really excited about Bruce Shushu Carrington. He leaves more to be desired. Yes, he beat Castro by knockout in the 9th round. He took some punishment in the process, but I want to see more. I want to see another level. And I think Abdullah Mason showed that he can switch the gears to another level. And I respect the fighters, but I'm not too excited about Bruce Shushu Carrington. I need to see more. Maybe that was a learning lesson he needed, but you could tell when a boxer has it, as far as the killer instinct and the switching gears ability that Abdullah Mason showed. You can tell that he'll always try to find a better way to win. If he's falling behind, he adapts and he finds another way to switch gears and bring the intensity of the fight to a point where he gives you an exciting knockout, where he was actually in a fight that was very close, and he was able to knock him out and break the 1-point lead that Albert Bell had. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing by knocking him down 2 times, and the referee stopped the fight in the 2nd knockdown, and I don't think it was controversial to stoppage. I think Abdullah Mason was gonna finish him regardless. So, I don't agree with Sergio Mora saying that they should have never stopped the fight. Come on, man, Sergio Mora, you too much sometimes, man. Come on, man. You gotta take it easy sometimes. You gotta just be realistic. JJ's in there plus Mason looked fresh in the 12th round. Facts, man. Yeah, man, I appreciate all your comments. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Yes. Yesterday was Independence Day, but I don't care about America's independence. All I care about is Puerto Rico being free, a sovereign nation. If you are giving Puerto Rico the colonization, exploitation status, and unincorporated territory status, the United States, you don't give other countries and nations the opportunity to be free because you want to exploit the resources and have them as a territory. That is slavery. So why do you celebrate your freedom? It's okay for you to celebrate your freedom from England, but you don't allow Puerto Rico to celebrate their freedom from you, you colonizer. The United States is a colonizing country. That's what they are, a corporation, a colonizing corporation. They exploit the tax exemptions of Puerto Rico, and they have Puerto Rico as slaves, treating my people unfairly. And you have the audacity to celebrate your independence when you don't give independence to Puerto Rico. That's your colony. Anyway, I had to end it like that. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing because controversy is real versy, and it does good. It does good. If somebody gets mad, that's great because it's just gonna bring more people to the channel. And you may not like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. What I'm talking about, and a lot of people appreciate the honesty that I bring. Yes, I said that last night, and I'm gonna end it today by voicing my frustration with that as well. But I'm celebrating a Grito de Lara, September 23, for Puerto Rico's independence. That's what we need. Puerto Rico libre! Free Puerto Rico, that's what we need. Yes. Shout out to all my people in Puerto Rico who are going through it right now. They're going through it. They live it. I've seen the difference, the unequal treatment. I've seen it. So anyway, subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel, and I appreciate everybody for tuning into the channel. Everybody who tuned in. And there'll be more people tuning in after the video is down. So please give me your assessment on the fights. What do you think about Abdullah Mason's victory? And how do you think the fight between him and Tank Davis will fare out? And how do you think a fight with him and IBF champion Raymond Murataya would be? Those are all great fights. I think those are all great fights. What do you guys think? The referee had to see someone in Bell's eyes to stop the fight. The referee had to see someone in Bell's... You mean something in Bell's eyes to stop the fight. It was so obvious that Abdullah Mason was going to pulverize him even more if the fight would have continued. But thanks for your comment, JJ Sendejas. I got to leave. I appreciate you tuning in to the channel. You're one of my regulars, and I shout you out and salute you, and you are part of the family. Subscribe to the channel, everybody, and SPXWN. Much love to you. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you coming into this channel for the first time, and subscribe to the channel. Give me your assessments and your opinions, and the reason why you think Shushu lost in the comments. I would really appreciate your assessment. I believe that Shushu won regardless. He won most of the rounds, the majority of the rounds. He just got hurt in the last, the later rounds, towards the end. In the body shots, they really affected him. Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, okay, it's okay. You don't have to say sorry. Jay is in there, says sorry, something. So you meant something. Yeah, I already figured it out before you elaborated on it. But anyway, regardless, my brother, much love to you. Un abrazo. Shout out to everybody who tunes into the channel. And have a great night. And check out the video section of my channel. I have interviews with boxers. I'm supposed to get an interview with Felix Tito Trinidad very, very soon. September or November. Got to reach out to my brother, Joy Borrero. Shout out to him. Peace to him. Got nothing but love and respect for him. Abisai Koto as well. Shout out to all of them. And check out the other interviews that I've done. And be on the lookout for interview with Felix Tito Trinidad. I'm going to make history. Subscribe to the channel and check out my music on all major platforms. Sony also. Peace. Subscribe to the channel. One love. Don't be a coward. Subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Don't be a coward. Tony.